Can you call COVID lethal to children in Canada? I want you to go on record. If the virus has not killed one child or one person under 20, in the category of 0 to 20, can you agree with me that you have to call COVID non-lethal in Canada because it hasn't killed anyone?
If you were in charge,
I'm asking you a very specific question.
I'm the journalist.
It doesn't matter. I can ask questions too. So you're a journalist asking questions. You can't answer one simple question? Answer that question.
Nothing's ever perfect, but if you're open to the side, magic in the moment, life it's only mine. I'll never stop loving and treating people kind. One day the world will set me free, and I'll be dancing across the sky.
What I've read some experts say is
like,
that
what's happening to Paris?
the medical exemption that they refer to
all these places where
would
the
only kind of
pandemic
for
was,
very
but
niche group of people.
Well,
nothing's going
that's
on.
a medical
So that's why
person's
when we
opinion,
got
and
here, they
thankfully
shut
we
us
don't
down.
go by opinion, we go by data and facts. And the data and facts is there's a myriad of conditions, both psychological and physiological, that would make somebody feel that they don't have to wear a mask. And it's not up to you, it's not up to a doctor, it's up to that individual to decide. And that's the entire purpose that freedom is essential. We don't have to do what somebody's opinion tells us, we have to do what's best for ourselves. It's that simple. And that's why, once again, freedom is essential. And as soon as somebody tries to tell you that you do not have a choice and you have to do what they tell you, then they're violating your rights and you do not have to listen. If it's against your best interest, you should not listen. It's that simple. And that's what we're doing. We're educating people, we're uniting people. All you guys do is try to divide people from day one. You try to divide the people that believe that COVID is a lot more dangerous than it really is, to the people that know better. Then you started dividing the people between who's so-called essential versus non-essential. Then you start trying to divide the people by race, by characterizing our protests as far right, as racist, as white supremacist, as if standing up for people's freedoms and rights is racist. It applies to all Canadians, it applies to all people around the world. So that's ridiculous. Then you guys try to divide even the people against the police, pushing this whole defund the police movement. Absolutely ridiculous. And we're onto the scam. We know that you're trying to divide us because the first thing you do is use your media and your government to spread lies to make people ignorant and scared. But when they're ignorant and scared, you can tell them what to do and they'll listen to you. And for the people that don't believe the lies that you guys tell, you use division to try to keep us fighting amongst ourselves so we cannot have a clear voice to talk about what's really going on, talk about the real problem, which is not COVID, it's the government response to COVID. Let's be real. COVID, in the age gap of 0 to 20 in all of Canada, COVID has not killed one person aged 0 to 20. In the age gap of 0 to 59 in all of Canada, COVID has killed less than 250 people. So to call that a pandemic is ridiculous. When 96-97% of all dead people from COVID are 60 plus, and most of them have underlying medical conditions, and the vast majority of those were in old age homes, it's not a pandemic. That's not a pandemic. A pandemic kills young people, healthy people. It doesn't only kill old people. So everything they're telling us is an exaggeration, and they're using it as an excuse to do what they're doing, which is take our rights and try to use mandates and fear to take our rights. So how do you combat fear and ignorance? Simple. With the truth. That's simple. Well, that's all we're doing. We're spreading the truth. Why? Because when people hear the truth, unlike your lies that you have to tell from 12 different stations and all different government officials and all different paid off doctors talking lies, they have to hear the truth from someone like me one time and it resonates and they understand. and then they'll wake others up. And that's what you guys are really afraid of. That's why you guys try to mischaracterize me. That's why you guys try to mischaracterize my movement, our movement. It has nothing to do with our message. It has everything to do with you guys just trying to implement control. And they're using the media, keep people scared, make people comply. Why? Because if people do not comply, you cannot take their rights. That's why they're called rights. However, if you got the people scared and ignorant, and you trick them into giving up their rights, then they've given up their rights and there's nothing they can do about it. And that's why this is the summer of united non-compliance. And we're going to unite everybody. We don't care what your race is. We don't care what your age is. We don't care what your gender is. We don't care about anything. All we care about is if you understand that freedom is essential, you understand that the problems we're having right now is not a result of a virus, but a result of intentional government policy. You are on our side. And that's what we're getting. We're getting around the truth and we're getting around unity.
One thing you mentioned is that it shouldn't really be considered a pandemic if only a specific demographic. Talk about that?
Well, if you look at so-called past pandemics, for instance, the 1918 Spanish flu, you had between 50 and 100 million people die out of 1.5 billion total people. That's almost 7% of the entire global population dying. That's a pandemic. That's a world-ending type thing. That's an extinction level event if not controlled. What do we have with COVID? We've had less people die around the world than we had for an average flu season. The average flu season kills over 650,000 people a year. And that's in spite of 90% of the world being vaccinated against the flu and the population having some semblance of herd immunity from the flu since we go through it every year. And now we have a brand new so-called pandemic from a virus that we know, according to the CBC and other reputable sources, has a significantly higher than 99% survival rate, and it has killed less people than the average flu kills every year. And they're calling it a pandemic where we need to give up our rights, close our businesses, reshape our country, reshape our schools for our children. The children that not one have died, we have to put them into new schools with social distancing, isolation measures that are going to cause physiological and psychological damage, untold psychological damage, over a prolonged period to protect them from a fucking virus that hasn't killed one of them. Does that make sense to you? Does it make sense to protect someone from something that can't even be considered lethal to them? Can you call COVID lethal to children in Canada? I want you to go on record. If the virus has not killed one child or one person under 20, in it's a category of 0 to 20, can you agree with me that you have to call COVID non-lethal in Canada because it hasn't killed anyone?
If you were in charge,
I'm asking you a very specific question.
I'm the journalist.
It doesn't matter. I can ask questions too. So you're a journalist asking a question. You can't answer one simple question? Answer that question. It hasn't killed one person aged 0 to 20. So
I don't know that it hasn't.
it has. I can show you. It has not. I can show you the Government of Canada website. It's updated almost weekly. So if you don't even know what you're talking about, how are you asking questions about a topic you don't even understand? That's a perfect example of why the media is so full of crap. Because you guys don't even know what you're saying. You walk around asking loaded questions thinking you're going to get somebody to say something that makes them look bad so you can use a soundbite to try to prove a point that doesn't exist. And that's all I got to say to you. Have a nice day.
One thing I want to ask you is if you
No
were in
comment.
charge,
Thank you very
if you were
much.
in charge, what would our responsibility be?
No comment. Thank you very much.
What if he answered your question?
You don't want to tell me what you...
I said I'm done talking to you. I have no further comment. Thank you very much.
I appreciate you guys.
Have a nice day. We have to catch up.
Ah.